You know how they say that mastering cannot save a bad mix? Well, I think that a mix cannot save a bad music production and sound design. And especially in techno, I think that a good sound selection and a good sound design and like picking up the right sound that fits well together initially can save you a lot of headache during the mixing stage. And the better way to save a problem, if you have a mixing problem, is to go back to the source. Now, if you're working a lot with recorded music or like audio loops, obviously that's gonna be hard to apply because you cannot really modify the source as it's already printed in audio. But if like me, you have in your session a lot of MIDI sequence, send patch available that you can modify, then today I'm gonna show you a few tips how you can do things with your send that will replace some of your VST or some of your mixing tricks. Now, everything I'm gonna say is to apply with a pinch of salt, as you have to remember that music production is a creative thing, so sometimes you have to let the technical part on the side and to privilege the sound design. Alright, let's jump into Ableton. Now, for this sample, I'm gonna use wavetable and we're just gonna select a sawtooth. And one thing, for example, during the mixing, when you have too harsh sound, you have to remember that the filter can be used kind of like as your EQ, because you can filter the sound to remove harsh frequency, but most of the time you denature too much your sound. So one of the classic tricks is to basically use an envelope to modulate the filter. So you just get the transient of the high frequency and you don't have too much harsh frequencies. So this is something to keep in mind. Your filter, maybe sometimes close it a little bit more and use an envelope if you really need to add a bit more transient. Another easy way to add transient instead of just using a transient designer is to apply a pitch envelope on your sound. So this works with drums on the sampler. So you're gonna have your envelope 3 modulating the pitch here. But if you use a very short envelope, so no release, no sustain, and the decay around usually 10 milliseconds, you can hear how you add quite some nice plucky, plug transient sound. Then you can adjust the amount you want, depending of the modulation amount. Now, noise is another great way to add excitement and transient. So wavetable doesn't have a noise generator, but you can use a noise wavetable, although I will use FM to kind of make it sure it's very noisy. So it's not ideal, but still add a bit of noise. Now, when I do tutorial or do track breakdown in general, a lot of people ask me why I don't use compression that much. And it's true that except for sidechaining or some really rare case, like when working with vocal, I rarely use compression. And the main reason is because your amplitude envelope on your send or your sampler is kind of a compressor. I say kind of because it's not exactly the same, but you can basically shape the dynamic of your sound with an envelope. So if your sound have a too strong attack, you can just put the attack around 4 milliseconds and you reduce a bit of its attack. If you want a more sustained sound, you obviously bring the sustain up. Same, it can be used more like a gate with the release. So if you want something that stops straight after you release the note. And here it's with a synth, but it's work as well the same way with the drum on a sampler. Now, same, a great way to control your tonal balance is to apply key tracking to your filter. So if you apply it positively, the higher you play, the higher the filter is gonna open. But if you want to control the harshness of your sound, you can apply it negatively. So now the higher you play, the lower it gets. So you have it more open in the lower frequency than in the higher frequency, which can be great, yeah, like I said, to tame the harshness. Now, another tool we use a lot in modern music is anything that can spread or widen the sound. And we're gonna usually use like chorus, or even like now you have specific plugin for widening sound. But on your send, usually you have what is called Unison or like a spread function that does that really well. So the thing is, it spread the voices on the stereo field, but it's also detuned. But you can decide to have little voice and little amount so it doesn't detune the sound too much, but just make it more stereo. See, here it's detuned a lot, but so yeah, no need of a widening effect. Now, I wanted to quickly talk about delay and reverb. I know this for some people it's more like at the mixing stage, but for me it's more like at the sound design, because most of the time delay and reverb really is gonna give character to the sound. Delays often give rhythm, and reverb to use a certain tone of your sound. For example, cavernous reverb effect, or more like a sharp drum room. Delay can be used to add an extra layer of rhythm on your hats, or can be used as a filter delay for your dub techno chords. So here are a few things I will always tell you to be careful, and that I am the first one always doing the same mistake, and I'm doing this mistake still nowadays, is to put too much feedback, dry wet on your delay. So like basically the sound is lasting for a very long time, and usually you hear the first echo of your delay, but then when there is the whole mix you don't really hear it. So it's not really point to have a that long feedback, and sometimes above 20% is not even needed. And same with the dry wet, we tend to put too much, where sometimes just around 20% is enough. I'm going maximum 30% most of the time, except when obviously you have specific effects needed. Now again, this is about sound design, so if you sound and the tone of your sound is changing too much when you reduce the feedback and the dry wet, then let it how it was originally. You don't want to compromise the original tone, because otherwise you're gonna kind of lose the spirit of the track. And so here is the same with the reverb. Sometimes we have like big amount, and so in some cases this can be nice to create like ambience, pad or texture, or putting more in the background. But again, most of the time when you're gonna listen to the sound in the context of the track, you then might realize that you don't need that long decay and you don't need that much dry wet amount. For example, here I have this sound. So with delay and reverb, you can even go further. With the delay, you can filter your delay if you really want to save up a little bit of space. With the reverb, you can reduce the diffuse. You can put a high cut on the input filter, or even like a high shelf going down on the high and the low to kind of get rid of this messy frequency. Will save you a lot of space in your mix. Now finally, the last tips I want to give you, it's more related to composition than to sound design, but I mean it goes together, is making sure every time you add a new element, it doesn't really overlap too much with the element you already have. So for example, here I have this track I started, and you have the synth playing more in this frequency range. So if I'm planning to add a pad or a synth, I will try to maybe add things more like in that range, you know, so they don't overlap each other. So again, this is to take with a pinch of salt, because sometimes, well, you're gonna add a synth which is sounding better in that zone than in that zone, so you might have to compromise, or maybe try in the arrangement to don't make them play in the same time, or maybe pan one left or right. But it's a good practice to avoid piling sounds that are in the same frequency range. So like that, later on the mixing, it's easier for you. And usually when you finish the music production, there is not much done. With all these tips, usually when I arrive at the mixing stage, then I don't have that much to do. You know, you always have maybe a bit of EQ or level to do here and there, but like I would say 90% of my mix is done when I finish the track. And when I see there is problems somewhere, I try to see if I cannot fix it at the source, rather than to add a compressor or an EQ or any other kind of effect for mixing, because it's always better to fix it at the source. Alright, hope you like this video, hope you learn a few tricks. If you want to grab the project from this video, the link in the description is on my Patreon. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.